Hey guys, it's Alicia. I was just getting ready to do a breakfast meal prep for brownie baked oatmeal for my hubby, so I thought I'd turn on the camera and show you guys how I make this. Now, I typically make him steel cut oats in the crock pot, but every once in a while I'll do something a little different, and he loves oatmeal, so it's normally something oatmeal based. He loves the different baked oatmeals. And this brownie one is really good, and I have not shown this before, so I thought I would just show you guys how I make it. It's very quick, very easy, but very good. So let me jump into the ingredients and go over those real quick. First off, what you're gonna need to make this is some almond milk. I'm using this Almond Breeze, just unsweetened original. I'm gonna be using 2 cups of that. And then here I've got some quick rolled oats. You could use just regular rolled oats if you wanted. This is just what I've got on hand, but either work. Here I've got some Mott's unsweetened applesauce. This is just about a half cup. It's 3.9 ounces, so just under. So I'm using one of these, or you could just use half cup of applesauce, but make sure it is unsweetened. Here I've got some Lily's baking chips. I'm gonna be using, I think, about 2 ounces of these. There goes my eggs. Don't want to drop those, they're expensive. So I'm gonna go ahead and weigh out 2 ounces of these. I'm using the milk chocolate this time. And then here I've got some Hershey's cocoa powder. I'm gonna be using a half cup of that. For sweetener, I'm gonna be using some of this Lakanto Golden. I'm gonna be using a 1/3 cup of that. And then this also acts as a sweetener. I forgot to mention the applesauce does. It acts as a sweetener, a natural sweetener, and then also it adds moisture to this. Next up, you're gonna need some cinnamon. I'm just gonna be using about a half teaspoon of this, and then a teaspoon vanilla extract, 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, 2 large eggs, a half teaspoon salt, and then I've got some cooking spray for my pan, and that is everything that you're gonna need to make this. This starts with a medium-sized bowl, and to that I'm gonna add in my oats, cocoa powder, half teaspoon salt, half teaspoon cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, and then I'm gonna just mix that all together really well. All right, now I'm gonna set this aside and work on the next step. So in a large bowl here, I'm gonna add in my eggs, my applesauce, 2 cups almond milk, 1/3 cup Lakanto brown or no calorie, no point sweetener of your choice, and my teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm gonna just whisk all of this together really well. Now that I've got that all mixed together well, I'm going to add in my dry ingredients and stir those in. And I should say this cocoa likes to kind of float to the top and not mix in. So it does take a little bit of extra stirring to get that kind of incorporated in there. Okay, I've got that nice and mixed together. So now you can either take your chocolate chips and fold those in if you want them in it, but I like to sprinkle mine on top. So I'm gonna go ahead and weigh out my chips. And again, I'm doing 2 ounces. So there's 2. Set those aside until I am ready for them. Now I'm gonna take a 9x9 inch casserole dish here, and I'm gonna spray it with a little bit of the cooking spray. Then I'm gonna pour my batter in. Now I'm gonna take my chips and I'm gonna just sprinkle them on the top. Now this is ready to go in the oven at 350, and you want to just bake this until the center is set. I always start off around 45 minutes and then bake it additional time if I need to. So I will be back once this is done. I let this cook for just over 45 minutes. It is looking done. That center is set, and that's mainly what I'm looking for with these baked oatmeal. So it is set. So I went ahead, pulled it, and I'm gonna let it cool a little bit before I cut into it. I have got a serving of this here, which is a sixth of the total, and it is 4 points. I went ahead and dusted mine with a little bit of the Lakanto powdered sugar, and then I'm gonna just have this with some strawberries because I think that it pairs really well with fruit. It's also just good all by itself too, but I like to pair it with fruit. So this makes a great breakfast meal prep. It also just makes a nice little dessert as well, but very, very good stuff and pretty low point. All right, we're gonna give this a try on camera. I don't typically eat the oatmeal that I make for him, but taste.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite kind of dish. It's almost like a scone. Mm-hmm. So you get, you know, really strong chocolate flavor. It's really sweet up front, not overly sweet, but then I'm getting the kind of the dark chocolate, cacao, cacao
powder.
Yeah, flavor. So it doesn't end sweet. It ends almost.
With that dark.
It's not bitter, or it is, but it's a pleasant. It's the way dark chocolate is supposed to taste.
Now, I was gonna say I tend to not use a lot of sweetener in these, so I don't think they're super sweet.
No, it's not overly sweet at all.
So if you like a little sweeter type oatmeal or, you know, baked oatmeal like this, I would suggest maybe adding a little more sweetener to it, because I know he doesn't, like you said scone. You kind of compared it to, which they're not overly sweet, but
yeah.
He doesn't like his overly sweet. And
I just like you.
Just I was gonna say sweet. Like me, not overly sweet. But yeah, if you're like a little sweeter, you might want to add more sweetness. But for us, definitely enough with that.
Very satisfying.
And then I think the milk chocolate, I go back and forth between using the semi-sweet and milk chocolate. I think with this, the milk chocolate worked because it adds a little more sweetness than the semi-sweet. So yeah, really good. All right, guys, that was brownie baked oatmeal. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, as always, for watching, and we will see you on the next one.